This is a customer feedback agent that I built on Claude Managed Agent. I built it in 25 minutes, no code, no servers, no DevOps. It's called Claude Managed Agents. Anthropic launched it a few days ago. I'm going to show you exactly how you can build it from scratch right now. This whole setup takes 3 steps: prompts, tools, deploy, and that's it. The first thing is the system prompt. This is the agent's job, description, what it does, how it behaves, what it's allowed to do, and what it's not allowed to do. I'm going to paste a prompt directly. Okay, it's going to be similar to exactly what I just built. One thing that you actually have to remember is you have to try and be as detailed as possible with this. And what we'll add is, I want this to save into the Notion page. The Notion page that I built was for this onboarding experience. This is a previous feedback from the agent that I just demonstrated. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and copy this link from Notion, and we're going to paste it in here and then confirm. That's the whole brain of this agent. There's one setting in the next step that most people miss, and it's what causes the agents to fail silently. And I'll show you exactly what it is. There's a few things that you can do from here. You can keep refining if you want to make a few changes. If you want to create this agent, you just create this agent from here. You can see the sessions here, the environments, the Credential Vaults, which is where you keep all your credentials, which is what makes this special because it is more steered towards the enterprise grade, enterprise level, production ready level agents in comparison to OpenClaw. You can see that from here, it has created the agent. And the next thing that we're going to do is going to configure the environment. What Claude did is they gave you the capability to create its own session and its own environment. All right. Now, this is the part where a lot of people miss. The good thing about this is it just prompts you. It's going to ask you what you want to do, how far do you want to take it. Okay. These are the tools. Claude did an amazing job connecting and plugging in quite a large variety of tools that a lot of people use. The integration is already listed. Anthropic pre-built all the connectors, and this is the setting that most people miss. However, the good thing about the Managed Agents platform is it'll walk you through everything. So the Vault should hold the Notion equations. Yep. So that's the one. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then this is where you connect. See, it just prompts you. Now you don't have to go through all the API settings. You don't have to go through an authorization flow in a separate tab. It just opens it up for you. You just go continue, and it connects the Notion MCP for you. You need to specify the Notion database that you want to use. Otherwise, you can request for it to create you one. Once that occurs, you need to ensure the Notion connection is to that specific database, which is the reason we pasted that link at the beginning. If you leave it to the full workspace, the agent will save to the wrong place, or it'll fail in the first run. Set it to your feedback database only, or set it to the specific database that you want it to save in. And then we're going to do a test run from here. Now, here is the environment that's already been spin up. And now we're on a session. Okay. So we can test it, see how it is. So let's just go from here. Okay. I'd like to leave a few. Anthropic just provisioned a sandbox container for this agent. It has its own isolated workspace, its own session state. I didn't touch a server. That's what this environment section is for. An important note is that if you delete an agent, you must also delete the corresponding environment. That's important because otherwise, if you look up here, you could kind of mix them up. So you need to ensure that, if you label them properly, you should be okay. However, you need to ensure that you also delete the environment. So here now, it's handling real messages, and you can just have a conversation with it and test it to ensure that it works properly. All right, let's go here, and you can just see it think, and it's pretty cool. Before you would have had to do this on N8N, and N8N can be a little bit intimidating for people. And I think this is the solution to the complexity of N8N. And I think they did a pretty great job. It is a little bit limited. There's some things that you can't do yet. However, based on that leak recently, it gives you a pretty good preview of what is possible and what is actually going to happen. So as you look at it, you see what it does. It doesn't just log the message, it asks follow-up questions, and it's a running conversation. Okay, so what's your overall impression of the onboarding experience? Did it feel smooth and intuitive, or where were the parts that felt confusing or overwhelming? It was a seamless process and a positive one. And as I can see, it just continues. It just asks a few other questions. What specifically stood out for you as going well? Was it a setup instructions, the guidance provided, the ease of getting started, or something else? Let's just go the guidance of getting started, and you just paste that. And we'll close that. Great, noted, and I'll just say faster setup. And we'll close that. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Now you see the result that came from it. Now, if we go to debug, we can see the process that occurred. Let's just say, yes, save it. And from here, you can see the tool being called, which is the Notion tool. So as you can see, it was an error. It's going to search again. Let's have a look. Searching, running. Let's go debug. Good thing about this, you can see where everything is, and you can see the transcript and the tool that was called. So you can see the tools that have been called, Notion search. You can see that it failed in an error and it ended up creating the page. Now, if you go to the Notion, you just created the page, and that's the feedback that we have just given it. It took 0 backend code, 1 system prompt, 1 toggle, and that's production ready. The question everyone's asking is, does this kill N8N? I'll give you an honest answer, no, and I'll tell you exactly which one to use and when to use it. If you need scheduled automations and you need cron jobs, webhook triggers, background tasks running while you sleep, N8N is still the better choice. Managed Agents has no native scheduled triggers right now. It could be coming. However, I think that's one con for Managed Agents. You could attach this to a platform like trigger.dev and trigger the agent, or you can go into your Claude Code CLI and use the Managed Agents from your Claude Code CLI and just attach to CRON. However, I think that this is an introduction to agents for the general population, just for people who are a little bit intimidated or don't want to go through the effort of learning Claude Code on the CLI or on an IDE. Nick called it an N8N killer. Nate Herc called it disappointing for power users. And they're both partially right, in my opinion, because what Managed Agents actually replaces is the infrastructure burden of running agents for other people at scale. If you've been avoiding building AI tools or an AI product because you don't want to manage servers, that excuse is gone now. Different tools, different jobs. Now let's have a look at the cost. On costs, it's about 8 cents per session per hour, which honestly is great. However, what you need to know is that the runtime only counts when the agent is actually running. So you're not going to pay the cost of the agent unless the agent is running. So for that fraction of the hour is what you're actually going to be paying. The 20-minute support ticket costs about 3 cents in runtime plus tokens. Under $1 total, a human VA costs $500 to $2,000 a month. The maths isn't complicated. Go to console.anthropic.com, quick start, paste your system prompt here, add tool, and then you just deploy. And you can have something running in 25 minutes. Comment below with what you're building. I'll tell you if Managed Agents is right for you and if you actually need N8N for it. If you want to go deeper than what I can cover in a video, I've got a community where we build this stuff together, workflows, agent setup, full system breakdowns. The link is in the description. And if you want to see how this compares to building agents the old way, full SDK, full infrastructure, we've got that in our school.com as well. So watch the next one. If this saved you time, like the video, subscribe for new AI content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you in the community.